It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 22nd day of October. I'm Chillie Falls, coming to you from Central Virginia, right outside of Lynchburg, Forest, and Bedford County. And welcome to Friday Travel and Cruise Industry News. Today is National Nut Day. Not nut like I'm a nut like you eat, folks. And one of my favorite snacks still to this day is cashews. I keep cashews over there next to my chair most of the time. Well, right now I'm out of cashews, so I've got some dry roasted peanuts, but it's National Nut Day. So go find some nuts and snack on them today. All right, cruise ship sailing today from U.S. ports as we're going into another busy weekend. Out in Los Angeles, Long Beach, you got the Carnival Miracle leaving on a 3-nighter. From Miami, you got Freedom of the Seas leaving on a 3-nighter. Up in New York, Manhattan, Crystal Symphony sails on a 7-nighter. Port Canaveral, Disney Dream on a 3-nighter, and Mariner of the Seas a 3-nighter. Out in San Diego, Disney Wonder a 4-nighter. And in Seattle, American Constellation on a 7-nighter. So, and in the news today, of course, we've got a special program this morning on remembering Hurricane Wilma. In the news, you got Carnival Cruise Line updates their vaccine protocols. We pretty much expected that. Disney's going to be in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and a whole bunch more. And of course, we got to look at some weather too. But the most important thing about today is we need to wish a very happy birthday to Elizabeth on location. She's down there in Cozumel, and it's her birthday, and she's given up part of her birthday to be with us today. So happy birthday, Elizabeth, and I'll bring you in here right there. Good morning. Hi, Elizabeth. How are we doing?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you, Chillie?
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. We're doing a little kind of a tribute remembering Hurricane Wilma, which was 16 years ago today. You lived through it. You survived it.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Pretty crazy time, actually. I had just gotten off the Star Princess. I'd been over in the Baltic for 7 months and just got home to Cozumel 5 days prior to Wilma hitting. And it was funny because afterwards everyone was walking around saying, like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? And I'm like, this happened to be when my vacation turned up. And I remember going to sleep on the night before, on the 21st, or actually on the night of the 20th, I went to sleep and it was a Category 1. And I woke up the next day and it was a Category 5, headed directly for a direct hit to Cozumel. And so there it was, heading right towards us. And it was this beautiful, sunny, gorgeous day, just like today. And we knew this hurricane was headed right towards us. So it made landfall the evening of the 21st, and then all day the 22nd and the 23rd. So it was here, the eye went right over us, and it was here over 52 hours on the island. And by the time it hit the States, was down to like Category 2 or something. So nobody really considered it at the time that strong of a hurricane, except for those of us in Cozumel. It pretty much it was like a bomb went off here. It was unbelievable.
This one I found fascinating because that you've circled your apartment.
Yeah, I lived in a place with glass walls on 3 sides, floor to ceiling glass walls on 3 sides facing the ocean. Obviously, I was not in the apartment at the time. We had to evacuate the waterfront, and a lot of people did get off the island, but the people who live here, everybody pretty much, for the most part, people stayed. So I went and stayed at a friend's house about 5 blocks inland. That's the main street, and on the left of it, you see that kind of pinkish orange building. That's where the No Name Bar is actually to this day, down in there. It didn't actually exist at that time, but that's the building it's in. So when you saw those pictures of that bright orange building I was posting the other day, that's the main street. That's Melgar right there. Unbelievable. I like this one, somebody carrying their dog in a bucket.
Yeah. The one of the things that got to me is, I mean, most of us have been to Cozumel numerous times, those of us that have been cruising a while. And I see things that I recognize on almost every picture.
Yeah. I mean, when you consider this was 16 years ago, there are quite a few changes anyway that would have taken place, but certainly you'll recognize things along the waterfront. This is the road that goes up towards the golf course. And in the picture, this is the North Road, Melgar, the main street, but it was totally flooded for quite some time, even after the hurricane. But this is looking south towards town. So if you ever went to the golf course or anybody went to the golf course, you drove right along this strip to get up to the golf course on the north end. This is the street right by my house. If anybody comes to the island right now, this place where the gentleman on the right is standing in front of with the yellow shirt on, that now is a place called the Thirsty Cougar, which is a very popular bar right here on the main street. But you can see all the way inland, the storm surge went right in. So the streets were just filled with debris of all sorts.
Not that I would ever admit to having had a adult beverage, but I've been there.
Yeah,
to the Cougar. Yeah.
Oh, have you? Okay, so
yeah.
That's where you recognize that spot.
Yeah.
Now this, of course, is Punta Langosta, the downtown cruise ship pier area. And again, just look at the street. The street was just, the sidewalks and the concrete that just got washed around like it was nothing. It's hard to believe that. And you can see all the trees were just decimated. All of those palm trees that any of them that did survive it, they were all taken out and replanted with new palm trees, by the way. This is down at the marina. And I think the interesting part, this is down at Caleta, which is one of the marinas down to the south end of the island. And if you look at the background, this is what was so astonishing to the local people because, I come from Indiana originally, so I'm used to seeing the change of seasons and seeing trees with no leaves on them. So it wasn't that astonishing looking to me. But if you think of October, this is the end of kind of the rainy season here. And these trees are normally lush green and tropical. And there was not a green leaf on any of those trees. It even ripped the grass out. There was no green grass. It was amazing to see. This is the famous Ernesto's, which is back in business down there. But you can see once again, anything that was there on the waterfront just got completely just wiped out. The whole insides of all of those buildings just completely wiped.
That's another spot that I have been before.
Yeah, that's down by closer to the International Pier and the Portamaya Pier down that direction. This is just another beach scene. And this was taken a little bit after the hurricane because you can see some green things sprouting up there. So that wasn't like the day after or anything. That was a little bit later.
The poor palm trees.
Yeah, unbelievable. Another beach scene down to the south of the island. And again, just this one was not one of my photographs. It's one that a friend of mine posted yesterday. And again, just look at the trees, how bare they are. Interesting point too. Nobody died in this hurricane.
Yeah, I was
we didn't have any
sure we
casualties.
said that.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And this is actually, they were just building a new Diamonds International in that location. If you look at carefully in the background, you see the ferry pier right there. So this is right on the waterfront, a building that was being constructed there and all the seaweed and everything you can see. And interestingly enough, do you know what this is?
That would be one of the piers.
Yeah, this is the Portamaya Pier. And that in the distance, that is the Star Princess. And they tendered in for quite some time after that, and as did a lot of ships, of course, anybody coming in. But it's hard to believe that pier, if you remember way back, had a big, long duty-free store that ran the length of that pier.
Yeah.
So it just, everything down in the ground. Underneath the water, actually, that there was a big safe in that store that went missing. And it took them months and months to locate it. And they did find it eventually. And then there was a big legal suit over who got to keep the belongings of the safe, because there's a finder's keeper's law and that type of thing. I'm not sure what exactly happened with the results of that, but they did find the safe.
By the way, I just glanced over to the chat room. Lindsay Wright says, "Hi there, Elizabeth."
Oh, she's one of my old ship roommates. She's down in
Yeah.
Grand Cayman. You'll have to interview her one of these days.
All
She's
right,
got
that
some
sounds
fabulous
good.
stories. This is actually after they had been cleaned up, one of the local car rental places. And these were all tossed along in the street. And when they flipped them upright, you can see the damage that was done to all of these vehicles. And then again, here's this was like right in front of the place I used to live. And again, Melgar, this is the main street taken right along, just as you came off the ferry pier, just to the north of that, just to the south, right there. That's the first block. On the right-hand side, if it would have been there at the time, would have been Cariloha and Del Sol. That's where they're located now. For anybody who recognizes just that store, the old Carlos and Charlie's used to be right on that strip right there as well.
You keep mentioning bars that I've been to. That's terrible. Does it sound like I go to a bar all the time when I'm in Cozumel? Oh, maybe that's because that's what I do.
Oh, yeah, me too. I could start mentioning jewelry stores, but I don't know that everybody would know where those are. So again, this is Melgar. This is the main street. And actually that's right in front of the Navy base, the downtown Navy base. And that also is right on the town square. To the right of this photograph is Palmeras, the main big restaurant, that open air restaurant, fabulous place. Best peach daiquiris anywhere, by the way. Giving them a plug for their peach daiquiris. And this is a hotel, the Scuba, I forget what it's called, Scuba Cozumel Hotel. And this is from the waterfront side of it. And you can see it just got completely blown out. But they're, back up and running and open. You'd never notice it now if you went by it. I was wondering, there was one other photo I meant to ask you to show. It just looks like a blank building. There was one of the, which you might not have downloaded it. It was one of the Presidente Hotel. Every single room of that hotel got completely wiped out. And same with my place where I didn't even have any furniture left in my apartment. Everything was gone. But I still had a painting on the wall. So one wall survived and it was a painting
everything
on the wall.
Else done. So you literally, you said you lost everything but you and your jewelry.
I have my jewelry with me. I have a sad story to tell. I lost all of my shoes.
Oh, mercy. That's awful for a female. Oh, good heavens.
But I will tell you, I looked up a couple of statistics on this storm just to give people an idea, because once again, I don't think people realize how intense it was right over Cozumel compared to even when it reached Cancun, because it took a turn up towards Cancun. It was one of the most intense hurricanes ever in the Atlantic. It beat Irma as far as sustained winds. So, everybody knows the damage that Irma did, but Irma's path was a little bit different. And so for us, it was 185 mile per hour sustained winds, whereas Irma was 180. So it was a little bit stronger. We had the fastest intensification from a tropical storm to a Category 5, which was in less than 24 hours. And to also give you an idea there, the maximum pressure drop in 12 hours was the strongest of any storm. It was at 83 millibars in 12 hours. That's amazing. I mean, your ears were popping the whole time. It was quite, it was crazy. But like I said, the interesting thing, we came out afterwards, and where I was staying to get to my apartment downtown normally would take maybe about 20, 25 minutes walking distance. And that day, I remember we timed it. It took about 2 hours and 20 minutes to get from my friend's house to the waterfront, because we had to wade through so much water and climb down power lines and trees. One thing they do here in Cozumel is they cut the power off the night before the storm so people don't get electrocuted and stuff, because they know there are going to be down lines everywhere. Yeah. And so we went without power for about, I want to say, a little over a couple of weeks with no power. And then we had, and I'm going to mention this to you, Chillie, we had dry law for an entire month. No serving of alcohol. anywhere on the island. However, I think we all drank more than we ever have on that month, because if there's a will, there's a way. So we did have our sources. And I was well stocked because it was my birthday, so I had planned ahead. But anyway, I will say the interesting thing, anybody who's gone without power for a period of time, I really thought that electricity would be the worst thing that we would go through without having electricity, which interestingly it wasn't. I didn't really, you just kind of got used to not having the electricity. It was no running water that will get you. You know, I mean, we luckily had a generator where I was staying for a part of the time. So we were able to pump water, but you had to take a quick shower if you wanted one. But that was probably the worst part of the entire thing was that. But we had cruise ships that came in and rescued us. A Royal Caribbean ship came in and took anybody off the island who wanted to go free of charge, and took them and dropped them off in Miami. And then we had the Star Princess came by and dropped off a number of tenders full of supplies. And I think everybody was walking around with Princess Cruises Casino t-shirts because they had a ton of those. People donated clothing and things like that. And then the Red Cross was here within a day, and everybody pulled together and helped everyone out. And we had ships back on the island within 30 days. Amazing. Can you believe it? You know, New Orleans is still having trouble after Katrina. That was of that same year. And we had cruise ships back within 30 days of that disaster. That just shows you with the strong will of the people and everyone pitching in together. Everybody just got out and started cleaning the streets and helping everyone out. And it was an amazing time. And as crazy as it is to say it, I wouldn't exchange that time in my life for anything. It changed who I am today for going through that, and just seeing how wonderful people are who can pull together in a really desperate situation.
Yeah. Oh, that's just amazing. I'm so glad that we could do this today, just to, I don't want to say celebrate, but
well, we actually
I couldn't really come up with the right word for it, but
we celebrate life and all that we're grateful for. This time of year, we do that every year here. Everyone's talking about it right now. Everybody who was here knows it made the island a stronger place. And if we can live through Wilma, we can beat COVID.
I got to ask one question. How in the hell have we done this with a perfectly good signal today?
I don't know. It's just, I know.
Shocked.
I never know that. I'm
glad. That's
we
absolutely fabulous.
Thanks for having me. Thanks,
Elizabeth. Thanks so much. I'm going to go on and finish up the show here.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody.
Talk to you real soon.
Okay. Take care.
See ya. And that's, of course, our Elizabeth on location down in Cozumel. That was fascinating. All right. A couple things to mention, folks. I've mentioned that I was going to try to hook up with Pete today. Well, Pete currently is on an excursion, literally as we speak, in Liverpool. And I've chatted with him earlier today. He will be back on the Anthem of the Seas in another couple hours. And he and I are going to try to tape a little interview from on Anthem of the Seas. And it'll be on tomorrow. And also tomorrow, I've got an interview that I didn't want to use today because I figured we'd take a good bit of time with Elizabeth this morning, as we have. But I've got an interview with Johnny Quinlan, who just got back from Alaska, the late season Alaska run on the Norwegian Encore, and he's got some interesting information about the Encore. All right, a couple stories to cover today. The Carnival, pretty much as we had expected, Carnival Cruise Line will begin accepting passengers with a mixed vaccination and has made an update to its Have Fun, Be Safe protocols with the new information. It comes, of course, after other cruise lines, Celebrity and Royal Caribbean, did the same thing the last 2 days. So everybody's going to get in line with that. I feel certain the cruise line has updated its protocols dealing detailing that it will begin to accept mixed vaccination guests effective with sailings from October 24th and beyond. It now means if guests received an authorized mixed dosage, they'll still be allowed to cruise. And the other story, and then I've got to go back and hit a little bit of weather too, that I jumped over for Elizabeth there. Disney Cruise Line will be sailing down 34th Street to Macy's Herald Square on November 25th, as the cruise line is all set to join Macy's Thanksgiving Parade in New York City. Do we call it the Thanksgiving Parade or the Christmas Parade? I've always called it Macy's Christmas Parade, but the press release says the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. Well, it's on Thanksgiving Day, but I call it the Christmas Parade because the old fat guy, not me, the other one with the red suit and the beard, he in that parade. At least he did the year I marched in it when I was 100 some years ago, but I was actually in it one year. The cruise line will be joining in a brand new cruise ship float christened Magic Meets the Sea, which was inspired by Disney's newest ship, the Disney Wish, come on, tongue, Wish, which is scheduled to join us next year. So, all right. In the weather, yes, we do have some weather, folks. Thankfully, not much. What did I do with the weather? Oh, I did forget this. This was the port we used yesterday that we didn't get the correct answer to. So if anybody has the correct answer to that, you might want to pop it in. Okay. All right. Okay, the weather. Right off of the coast of Mexico, and I don't have the screenshot up, but there's showers and thunder showers associated with a low pressure area located 250 miles south of Acapulco this morning. It continues to become better organized, although early satellite wind data indicated that the low did not have a closed surface wind circulation. Any further increase in organization would result in the development of a tropical depression or a tropical storm. That is forecast to happen today or tonight, maybe as late as tomorrow. Then we don't know how much further development there's going to be. They're saying the next 48 hours, further development at 90%. And then for the next 5 days at 90%. So we definitely got a storm we've got to watch down there. The other thing we've been following this week, folks, is, of course, the horizon, which currently is in Amber Cove, which is one of my favorite spots. I'm not sure where either Jason and Jennifer are today. I have not had any contact with them yet, and I have not been to the chat room to check it out. Or where the girls are, Cindy and the Pink Ladies. However, I'm going to, of course, me and my technical skills, I'm going to try to do something here from our friend Jason Garland yesterday. Share screen. And we'll see if I can come up with the right thing here. I actually have 2 little clips. Let's see which one this is. And I have to go away. Okay, now I knew not to try to talk over that because I knew you couldn't hear me. So we'll also see if I can do the other one. Nope, that's the wrong one. I'd screw it up, don't you? All right, let's go back and try this again. So we got to do this. Share. One of these days, folks, I'll find out how to do this. I promise you. Okay. All right, so I can't see if you guys can actually see that. Well, didn't come out the way I wanted to do it because there's another little clip there that I couldn't get to, and I'm not sure why that one came up like that. Let's try it one more time to see if actually it's some folks that were down on. There we go. Let's try it this way. There we go. Oops. I know. I got to get rid of it. Let's see. Phew. Wow. Had trouble getting out of that one. Anyway, it kept repeating. I wasn't sure how to stop it. Oh, well. One of these days, I'll quit trying to do that. That was at La Romana yesterday, which is where Jason and Jennifer were, and Cindy and the girls were. And let's see, do I have Cindy's? That was all that. Huh. I don't have Cindy's pictures up. Oh, well, I'll share those with you tomorrow. Cindy and the Pink Ladies were in La Romana, and they posted some pictures, which I do have, but I did not get them loaded today with trying to get everything set up for Elizabeth and doing all that, and it's not there. So one quick other flash for you to come up with guesses for that, and I'll check now in the chat room to see if anybody has come close to it and see who's here today. Kenneth's with us up in Pennsylvania. Kenneth and Robin. Tom Henry. Hot Air Tom is with us. Amy's with us. Hot Air Tom says, I forgot to tell Elizabeth yesterday, I opened a suitcase and found my very expensive belt from Cozumel. I should have done the math, but needed a belt, and it was nice. Very good. About $125 US after the conversion. Mercy, that's that's a pretty steep belt. Carol's with us. Hey, Carol, happy birthday to Elizabeth. She says, Gretchen's here. Gretchen says, Thirsty Cougar must have been named after a regular. And of course, I mentioned Lindsay. And Faith Poe is here. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. I hope Elizabeth's still with us to see that you got. I did not see Faith as I glanced over to the chat room. Elizabeth or Lindsay says, we are survivors, bring back lots of memories. Remember my very first cold beer and first shower. Wow. Amy says, I love Cozumel. What's the status of your cruises, Chillie? Okay, bring you up to date on my cruises. The only thing at this time that I am officially booked for, I've got my scooter, I've got my oxygenator for the cabin, is the cruise with Hot Air Tom in August. I'm still having trouble with the dates in January and February and who will let oxygen folks in and who won't, and trying to still piece it together as the Carnival clan is saying, no, nothing till March 22nd. So I'm still working around that. So I don't have anything definitive yet for the earlier cruises. The other thing that I'm working on is April, and hopefully the possibility of going on the inaugural voyage of the Celebrity Beyond, which is out of Southampton down to, I believe it's to Barcelona. It's a 10-dayer with Captain Kate and Bug Naked. And I'm trying the night before. I've sent messages to all of my best buddies over there in UK with what I'd like to do. And maybe the night before that sails is have a big party, cocktail party or something for, I mean, let's face it, you guys in my audience here and those guys have all taken part, I feel, in keeping me alive this past year. You guys have given me something to live for. So, and I cherish that a lot. So if I get to London, I'd like to be able to do something special for those guys. For, I mean, there's too many to address, but I mean, Janine and Sue and Emma and Pete and Martin and Luke and Gavin and Dave Monk. And this goes on and on of people in the UK that have had some part in my life over this past year. So I'd like to do that. So that's where I am. Nothing definite yet, Amy, but I'm working on it. That's I'm hoping to get it put together something in January, February, something before the March business. Emily's with us up in New York. Hi, Em. Yep, Elizabeth's here. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Hey, that bar was not named after me, by the way. Lindsay, we have certainly survived our share of hurricanes. And I hope you did see that Faith Poe is also with us, Elizabeth, if you're still with us. Gretchen says, I like Disney Witch better. Yeah, well, that was a little slip of the tongue. Sonny's with us. Hey, everybody. Hi, Sonny. Ding, 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 ding. Tom Henry gets it again. Santorini, Greece. Love the Blue Dome picks. That's the second one that's been a little difficult that Hot Air Tom has gotten. Very good. Yeah, Gretchen said Santorini also. Sonny had guessed Antiparos, but it is Santorini. Santorini is correct on that one, guys. Amy says you will make your cats jealous if you get a picture taken with Bug naked. Yeah, that would, Sherman and Cottonelle would both just absolutely give me fits on that. And it was very interesting when I was yesterday afternoon, I was doing the interview with Johnny Quinlan, Katie's cousin. As a matter of fact, that will be on tomorrow on the Norwegian Encore. Cottonelle came in and jumped up on the chair behind me and made a slight, quick appearance on that interview yesterday, which was kind of funny. So, way to go, Hot Air Tom, Emily says. Okay. What did I forget? I don't think I forgot anything today. I probably did. I mean, I forgot to load Cindy and the Pink Lady's pictures from La Romana. So I'll have to take care of that for tomorrow. They're on the computer. They just didn't get loaded into StreamYard. So I will do that for tomorrow. All you guys, anybody new that's out there in the room, you can see how our guys chat back and forth in the chat room. feel free to join in anytime you'd like. Good to have some of you guys are friends of Elizabeth there. Elizabeth she's on the show a lot. She does all kinds of things for me from Cozumel, and we just love Elizabeth to death. She's awesome, and we had a good Wi-Fi signal today. That's just terrific because we've had so much trouble trying to get anything, live from down there. So that was awesome. So that is going to wrap me up for today, guys. If you're new to this channel, we always appreciate thumbs up. That helps the channel out. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, hitting that little bell notification so you'll be notified when I go live or a new video is posted. And, please come back and join us anytime. We're here 6 days a week at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for travel and cruise industry news. So for now, this is the old fat travel guy. I'll see everybody tomorrow morning for Saturday travel and cruise industry news. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.